Hi and welcome to another episode of the Naval Tech Tinker. I am right now in a special place, and that's Malaka in Malaysia. And I'm in a Chinese museum here locally looking at something that really interests me. So, what's interesting me is all these ships. You can see kind of a huge exhibition of Chinese ships. So, in 1402, I think it was a young emperor who had a Muslim admiral called Zhen He, and he went with over 300 ships south to explore the world to see if there was something out there. And as you can see with all these ships, some of them look small and some look really big. Actually, the Chinese ships during these times, the biggest ones were way larger than any Western ship out there. I think the largest one was like 60 meters across the beam, I think it's called. I always forget the English words. And then like, I don't remember, 300 meters long. But what I like about these ships, if you compare to one of these Western ships, is these junk sails. They have a few things going for them, even though they're a little bit complicated in some ways. So the classic Chinese sails, they're these beautiful junk sails, as you can see, compared to the Western ones you can see, who are kind of pretty much just good downwind, because they didn't understand the idea of having cambered sail where you created lift. They thought that you should be pushed back and forward. So what I like about these ones is that, as you can see, they don't have stays from up to down. At least they usually don't. Like if you compare to these masts, they have stays there going back and forth, and mostly also down here connecting them. And they're just gorgeous, if you ask me. They look like art. And the way they're connected usually is that you can see that they just have something connecting them to an unstayed mast, so they have to be pretty thick at the bottom and going thin up. But it also creates some special things that can be both advantageous and something that works against you depending on what you have. So one of the negative sides during this time was that they were not good at pointing against the wind. If you have a sail like that, where the wind blows like this, you can usually point the ship closer to the wind. In modern sails, there is a community with these junk rig community, and they have actually created these cambers that are built in. Sometimes they create like what do I say? They just don't make it straight. They can make it like into sections so that you create the camber, and that means that since they're more like an airfoil like this, they can point well against the wind. But they also have the easiness that since they have weight in all of those things going up, they can easily be kind of adjusted for how much wind you have. So if you have too much wind, you can just pull down a little bit of them and they just fall down to the last one down there, and then it's easy to, now I have a brain slip, reduce the sail area very easy. That can be quite hard with modern sails. I mean, this is not a modern sail anyways, but still, yeah, it's kind of cool. So yeah, I'm looking at this huge armada with over 300 ships that went around the globe. Not around the globe, but they almost went to the Mediterranean. Almost came to kind of where the Suez Canal is today, and also to Africa with 60 ships full of things they wanted to trade, and yeah, I don't know, then some warships. But anyways, I'm actually thinking of maybe doing a junk sail rig with my sailboat. So what do you think about that? Would that be fun? So what's going for it? Well, it's if you single handing, it's kind of easy to hoist it up and take it down. They have a little bit more complicated rig. I mean, you have to connect these lines down, but you don't have to make it this complicated. But you can kind of see how it is. It's not that tricky. Also, I think it's just gorgeous. And a benefit is that since, I don't know if you can see them here, let's see. They haven't really done that in these. But actually, you can pull it quite high up. So you could actually be up here. So you can have a much shorter mast and have the junk sail come up quite tall. I think these are incorrect in a way, maybe. But you can. So you can have a pretty short mast, and then you can have a pretty tall sail area for the junk rig, since you just have to pull them up. So one is pulling against the mast, so it kind of pulls out the sail, and then you have something to hoist the sail with, one line, and yeah, then you have the lines going down to control the sail. And there are different ways. You can either have really hard ones and kind of create the camber in them, but yeah, it's a bit tricky. But you can also use some softer material to make them kind of natural. When there's wind against them, it creates a camber when you have strong wind against them. And I just think these junk sails are extremely beautiful. So yeah, let's just look at one. So you can kind of see how they're usually connected against the mast. They can easily be pulled up and down just by releasing the tension from up here. It will kind of fall down to the last one down here, which is stayed from here to here, so that everything just falls down. And then you can kind of easily, with one hand, when you're doing one-handed sailing, you can easily fix how much sail area you have up. So, and also the tension is also loaded not so hard up here in the top, but it's kind of spread out all over. So a lot of the stresses comes down, which means that it doesn't take a lot. It's not like you have to fight your sail in any way. So yeah, I think it's pretty darn cool. It's especially with modern ones that are not hard but can be a little bit soft, so that when you're pointing against the wind, you can also have like a jib up here, or a Genoa that goes down here, so that you can actually point a little bit better. Sometimes they even put like a small jib, or they're not called jib, down there. But yeah, that's what you have for the more modern versions of this. And you can also see that they don't have to be this complex, like they only have one line here to hold the whole sail, but they connected all of those to that one there. I think this might give a better look at how everything was connected. They're really darn impressive. I really like these designs. They're so beautiful. Work of art. I just love them. So yeah, it might have to do with something that I lived like 13 years in China, but it's also a really cool sail rig that I do think is maybe the most beautiful one of all. So yeah, I just wanted to give an update since I'm here in Malaka and looking at this huge expedition of hundreds of junk rigged boats from like, 500 plus years ago now. Anyways, that was everything for this little mini episode. Tell me what you think. Should I build something with it? Do you think I could actually take my rubber boat and create a junk rig sail for this? Or should I do something else? Let me know.